Here's a psychology truth you're not ready for. Deep thinkers aren't distant because they don't care. They're distant because their mind never stops searching for meaning. Deep thinkers walk through life like outsiders, not because they want to be alone, but because their brain refuses to settle for surface-level anything. Not conversations, not relationships, not life. They feel everything at a higher volume. They analyze every word, every silence, every shift in energy. There's a reason they pause before speaking. Their mind opens 50 tabs at once. They don't just answer. They scan for truth, intention, emotion, impact. They see patterns where others see chaos. They see motives where others see actions. They see possibilities where others see limitations. 110 to 140. The heavy side of a sharp mind. But here's the painful part no one talks about. Deep thinkers carry the weight of thoughts they can't explain. They overthink because they care. They isolate because they feel too deeply. They seem calm, but inside, a storm of ideas is constantly rewriting itself. They're the kind of people who lie awake at 3 a.m. not because they're lost, but because they're awake to everything the world ignores. To the outside world, deep thinkers can look cold, detached, hard to read, hard to hold. But in reality, they feel emotions with a precision that scares them. They love fiercely, quietly, and with an intensity that most people aren't ready for. That's why they pull back. Not to avoid love, but to avoid being misunderstood. Psychology says deep thinkers have a mind wired for abstraction. They don't just see what is. They see what could be. They imagine alternatives, futures, outcomes, consequences. This makes them visionaries, but also makes them struggle with being present. They're always one step ahead, but sometimes that means they're never fully here. Deep thinkers often feel lonely, even in a room full of people. Not because they're alone, but because their thoughts don't fit into small conversations. They crave depth. They crave honesty. They crave someone whose mind doesn't drown in the shallow end. But most people stay on the surface, so deep thinkers learn to swim alone. But here's what makes them extraordinary. Deep thinkers are the translators of the human experience. They turn chaos into clarity, pain into philosophy, silence into understanding. They're the people who help others see themselves. The people who listen between the lines. The people who make life feel like it has meaning. So, if you're a deep thinker, stop apologizing for the way your mind works. You're not too much. You're not overthinking. You're not complicated. You simply feel life on a level most people never reach. And that is your gift.